So Quasia has an identity meeting that he's excited to go to. So I said, go for it because honestly, we don't have very many things to talk about because the Lumio only has a couple issues, and I don't know if anyone's going to propose them as governance things.
Well, we can start with what we did this week, right?
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah, everything's going. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's start there. You want to go for it, Chris?
Sure. So what did I do? I put out the Reddit posts on the Scaling Now 4, a review of the Scaling Now 1 text, and spreading them. Feedback of the version 2 of the team video Joanna did. Then I organized a little bit the design elements, and then there was preparing and holding up the communication circle meeting and the tasks linked to that. Created a new Riot and Slack channel with Kai, and then a lot of miscellaneous things like dishing out points, DMs to people, chats with people. And what's still coming up is planning in social tweets, social stuff for the next week and two, and discussing with Yailer to kickstart Instagram and Steam it a bit more. And so, oh yeah, and in between, if you missed it, Yailer won 3rd place in the status contest.
Nice.
Yes. And I pass it on to Wojtek because I see him.
All right. So I went skiing. No, I'm kidding. I've been to Switzerland, though, and I did ski. But I've been in a lot of meetings with the good cards, with RSK, with other stuff. I don't remember now. I've been coding. We've decided some nice stuff in the last DAB meeting. And yeah, I guess that's it. Kai.
Buddy, I started some notes. I will share them in the Jitsi chat. So what have I been up to? I'm here in Thailand with the other guys, and we did quite a bunch this week. Let me see. Yeah, we have a main Lumio now for Giveth and for all the subcircles. There have been some hurdles, I think, so it would be nice to next week work more with this and get some feedback from the subcircles, what we can do about that. I did some fixes to the donation webpage, merged some wiki contributions, worked with MX on the Mary Merkel thing. That's still not working quite as we wish, but we hope we who I was a bit distracted for setting up the notes. Oz.
Hey guys. So yeah, this week I've just been working on the Argon audit. And I did have a meeting with some designers last week about snap-proof. And so, I mean, the Argon audit is really the priority, but I might try to put something together on that maybe for next week's Gov meeting. And that's it for me. Let me pass it on to, let's see, who's this? Alex.
All right, hey guys. I've been working on Mary Merkel with Kai for a long time, then wrangling unicorns in to get milestones checked off, and now we're starting the process of going through the triple check. Now that the batch milestones have been approved, and that's pretty much what I've been up to. Also, we have a new person. You can't see him because you made a poor choice in choosing someone with a video camera and not video camera. But there's Joshua. Yeah, you can't see him, but he's here.
Hello.
You should go there. I'm going to go with Adley because I see you on my screen.
Hi. Well, this week I've been working on the decentralized personal project. I'm still working on that. I started the research of IPFS consortium with Spunnet and the DApp for integrating into the DApp, and this is all for now. I don't know who is the next because I get it last.
Yeah, I still have to go. So I did a scaling now. I did the scaling now video with Alex from Grid Plus, and I created a scaling now campaign, doing lots of planning for scaling now, the Barcelona gathering, and working on Medium posts with Cleo. A lot of stuff around that. Coordinating Thailand with Lindsay and setting up scuba diving trip with Nick Johnson, which is going to be really exciting. Did a lot of work with just kind of connecting with random people this week. A whale in Bangkok, a guy from Almost at Go, and a few other people. I worked on my EdCon talk, added some comments to the multi-send contract, and been pushing the reinventing organization links to everyone to make sure that everyone gets to read that. And because it's important for conflict resolution and decision making that we kind of have something around that. And I think Kai will probably write something more official about that. Been working with Lindsay on a lot of milestones and pushing the triple check through so we can keep that momentum that we have going. Coordinating the Aragon audit, looking at the collaboration opportunities with RSK. Actually spent a lot of time thinking about that and seeking advice from RJ and other people. And we just did a meeting with Gabby. Did a meeting with P2P Foundation. Actually did a live meetup in Chiang Mai that was live streamed as well. And Kai did great work at managing all that. And also we have a drone. We have a new member of the team, Murray, the drone. So big fan of but yeah, I think that's everyone. So let's go straight into our check-ins, which
Joshua wants to say hello.
Oh yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Ooh, I even have the headphones on now. Hello, everyone. Nice to say hi and meet those who might have not yet met.
Did you do anything this week for Giveth?
Sorry, it's really working with Joanne, and once that's all done, then I'll also be mixing all of the interviews down and kind of like doing a master mix down on the audio for that, so that it's all full and pro sounding.
Nice. Okay, so now we can do the check-in. So check-in is 3 things. If you're toggled off and you don't want to participate, for instance, Josh, since this is your first meeting, you have to toggle off. So make sure to mention that, and then just say your intentions and distractions. So I'll start. I'll be toggled on, and my intention is to lead a very fast meeting and implement the new Lumio requirements, and I am not distracted. Let's go with Josh.
Sorry, what was the thing?
Was my sound not working?
No, it's
No,
working.
it was. But Kai has a bad connection over there. So I'll start then Josh, you can listen, like you only have to say 3 things. So I'm toggled on. My intentions is just to have an efficient meeting and see all your faces again. And I'm slightly distracted because I still want to tweet out the @status tweet about Yailer. But for the rest, I'm here. Kai?
Yeah, hello. I'm a bit distracted by takes here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a cool meeting. Be nice to hear from you guys. Yeah, let's see what we have as agenda points. Since nothing is in Illumio, will be interesting to see what we get out of this meeting. Wojtek?
All right, toggled on, no distractions, no intentions. Now I'll go with Joshua.
So what were the questions?
What your intentions are if you're distracted and you have to be toggled off.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess my intentions are just kind of to learn how these meetings happen and work, and to learn who all is involved in the team and what their roles are, and how they're helping and contributing to Giveth. And distraction would be that I'm very sleepy. I woke up very early and traveled all day today, like some of the other team members did. So that'll be my main distraction right now.
And then choose a person. So
oh, okay. And who hasn't gone yet? Go with Oz.
Hey guys, just here for another great team meeting. No distractions. Let's see. Wojtek, did you go?
Yes, I did.
Okay then.
Edu,
Edu, did you go?
Yeah, me, for example.
Cool.
No distractions, no intentions. So only that. Griff, I think, is the last.
Was that everyone?
I think so.
Okay. Then this would be the time where we do popcorn agenda items. But now we have this limitation that the agenda is determined by Lumio. So does anyone have any Lumio things that they would like? Well, let's just have a quick check-in. Is there anything anyone would have put on the agenda that they can't now? No? Well,
No.
that's cool. That's great. Okay, so then was there anything talked about on Lumio that anyone wants to put on the agenda? Wow, that's really exciting. This is going to be the fastest meeting ever, guys. So then is there, I guess, if there's no agenda items, then we just close it out.
This is the most boring meeting ever that we had then. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. We just got to check in. I mean, let's check out, and I guess we could have a fireside. We could have a fireside chat for like 10 or 15 minutes if you guys want.
Yeah, let's maybe do that. And we were gonna do something else afterwards. Griff, we can do the other meeting. The reward
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
Maybe I have one thing. I mean, I don't think that that's part of the governance, but there was a proposal about this RSK, which today we had a meeting and everything, I guess, changed a little bit, right? But it was on Lumio, and there were some people that disagreed and some people that blocked and stuff like that.
Maybe that's for
Is
the
that something
fireside
that we
chat
should
now?
talk about? Or
Well,
is
yeah.
that more like for the side?
Well, if you have a tension or a proposal,
No.
yeah, fireside chat sounds good. It would
Well-
be fun to update people about it.
So if you want to hear my thing, I think that's exactly what I what I expected to happen if we get Lumio on the agenda, because then the pressing stuff goes on Lumio, and the things we need to talk about are the things we talk about in this team meeting. So I'm very happy that it's kind of seems to work.
Yeah. Well, let's do a quick checkout and then do fireside chat. Actually, there's not even a need to check out. We already checked in, so let's just chat. So, what did you think of the meeting, Wojtek?
Well, it was great. I have it recorded. I'm just uploading it somewhere because it can't be uploaded publicly. I've asked. They said rather not. but I'm going to share it with everyone because I suck at taking notes. I took first 20 minutes and then I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And then, yeah, I missed half of the conversation.
Yeah.
But anyways, just to summarize that, which I anyways wanted in the core team, there were two parts that we discussed about. First part was basically BitGive paying developers from RSK and other affiliated company to develop a system for them on top of Giveth smart contracts, which is going to happen no matter what we do. But basically we can collaborate with them, and that was already decided, and I think everyone's really happy about it. And the second part was using maybe even that as an opportunity, starting to try Giveth on RSK and maybe linking it to the Rinkeby as well. So basically just having a one side chain and where everything happens and you can interact from the main chain or from the RSK one. But that's something that will need some more technical preparations. It's just throwing out ideas there. Did I summarize that well? Griff, do you disagree?
Oh, no. Well, I would definitely agree 100% wholeheartedly with everything. I will say that RJ and I kind of discussed the RSK stuff a couple days ago and made sure that the what he's working on now will actually be able to implement exactly that bridge between because I think it'd be so cool if Giveth is like the cultural and technological bridge between Bitcoin and Ether. I mean, that would be pretty fucking cool. I just have to say. Yeah, at the same time, I do think it's like a little bit politically early to be putting so much effort behind Bitcoin. It's kind of risky, but in the end, it is very aligned with our values. And I do really want to be with RSK. And if there's momentum, then we got to roll with it. But I just hope that we can make sure that our efforts are combined on the same GitHub repo for the time being while everything is so raw. It's just not the time to fork our code base, from my opinion.
Can you maybe like repeat then very concretely what the next steps are now? Maybe I missed it, but what are we actually going to do with them and what not?
Well, they said that they can't do anything until they talk to their legal department about how this is all going to work, specifically BitGive. BitGive seems to be the driving force behind this. They got $1 million from the Pineapple Fund, and they wanted. And I talked to Connie in Bogota, and she was saying that they want to do all this smart contract stuff on RSK. I was like, well, dear God, just use our stuff. Don't recreate the wheel. And she took that to heart, and she's going for it. But it's just a little early. So I'm at least lobbying for them to create a bridge from RSK to Rinkeby so that we can have smart Bitcoins and Ether on the same platform. And then we can use the same UI for both situations. Everyone can be working on that UI. Everyone can be working on the same set of smart contracts on Rinkeby, and they only have to worry about the bridge contract on RSK.
To be more concrete about the first part, basically, since BitGive is in US, they have a big issue with some legal part right now, where basically they can't transfer value through tokens. So they're trying to solve that, but the idea is that within the next 2 months, they're going to come up with a solution and either abandon completely US or find out how they can do that. And during that time, RSK or the KBX that is actually developing it would get requirements from BitGive, and they would share that with us. And we can see if it's aligned with us, with what we want to do, and if we basically can evolve the smart contracts together. Mind you, they probably will do their own UI, which will be closed source. But that's, again, something that will be negotiated in the next 2 months.
Yeah, because do you think that do we want to? Well, if it's closed source, they're probably not going to help us develop our basic system with us. They're just going to take and build their own thing. Is that something that we then want to spend time on?
Well, absolutely, because even if we find like something that we want to do similarly in the smart contracts, well, they can at least audit our smart contracts.
When did they say that they want to do a closed source UI?
Well, yeah, it wasn't in that call, sorry, but basically they said that they will probably develop their own UI, and it might have to be closed source.
That's crazy. Who are we working with?
No, that's not to hear.
That's just so random. I guess this is the BitKit. Who is the UI builders? The KBX.
That's the KBX. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it's part of I don't know.
I mean, they're going to have licensing issues because everything that we do is GPL, which is copyleft. Like, it forces them to be open source.
No, they can just write the UI in completely, right? And just plug in the smart contracts.
I guess so, but they would have to. I mean, I'd have to ask RJ or maybe Satya about this, but I don't know where the GPL. I mean, everything we do is GPL, right? So that means they can't use our Web3 either, which is what attaches to. I mean, that's the hardest part.
I might be talking out of my ass right now, but I'm not so sure if GPL3 means that it has to be open source. Maybe you can use it, but there was something about for-profit and non-for-profit, right?
Well, what it is we would have to give them permission to go closed source.
Okay.
And I believe that's how it works, but I don't know. We'll ask.
I always thought that GPL is like you have to be open source and you can use it, but you can also be closed source and not share it, but it has to be non-for-profit, which doesn't apply here anyways, because they're the one that develop it for profit. Yeah.
And also, I believe it's like the people who own the code still own the code, and so if they say that it is that you can close source it, then then you can do it. But in our case, I don't know that we would do that, or at least I wouldn't be interested in doing that. Not at this stage.
Well, I have maybe a thing that I want to throw in our fireside discussion with linked to this point is I think the fact, for example, that now this closed source element comes, Wojtek, and that you say, oh, that was in another call. I think we saw in the Lumio that the discussions, and even before when we're talking separately in discussions, that also on some other topic, that there are people talking in these private discussions without it being discussed with everyone. And of course you can start a discussion, but I think you know what I'm referring to. So
yeah, can I
sure.
put a little bit light in that? So basically Satya at one point proposed us going to RSK. It was like 2 governance meetings back, right? And it was after he was in some event and he met Gabrielle. And basically Gabrielle told him almost all of that, what was the meeting about, this BitGive and stuff like that. But I don't know, somewhere on the way it got mismatched. I don't know. So basically the call the governance meeting was just about moving Giveth to RSK because they're ready, which wasn't true at all. And we all voted no, that we don't want to do that. But so after that, I've talked to Satya, and basically he told me, well, you know, they're going to do that with or without us. And I still didn't understand what he was referring to. So I was already in Switzerland with Grace, and we called Gabriel to understand. And that was the first call that we had with him, and the first one where we actually learned everything that we learned in the meeting today as well.
Okay.
And we tried to share it and convey it, but you know, you always lose some information, I guess.
Yeah, well, what I just wanted to share on that point is that Grace launched then that updated proposal immediately after the governance meeting, in which she was not present, and she's not present in all of them lately. And then she also, like, in that discussion, she immediately tells us that we are not open-minded and that it's gonna happen anyways. And then I think such discussions and time for people to discuss this about it, and it could be avoided a little bit if such a call happens, then that we involve more people, or that Grace is maybe not the one launching such a Lumio proposal if she's not involved in any other discussion right now.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
This is
maybe not ideal.
This is funny because I was supposed to launch that proposal, and it was right after the call with Gabrielle where I was like, okay, so the proposal is different. It's not what Satya presented. So let me write that. But I wrote it, and it wasn't really well descriptive. It was a little bit negative. So Grace said, yeah, I don't remember this being in the call. I have a different feeling. Let me have a look at it. And I was fine because I had to be in some other meeting. So she rewrote it and she posted it right away. I completely agree with all what she wrote, but that's the reason why she did it. It was supposed to come from me.
Okay, well, that context helps already a bit.
Okay.
I don't know if in our fireside chat, if anyone else has an opinion about it, but I think it's important that we discuss this, because I think it's also the reason why Griff sent these documents today. That's like, let's avoid unnecessary tensions. And when we now see where RSK stands, there's no reason for like taking an immediate decision. But then, yeah, I felt that there was some unnecessary tension in the group because of this. And I think we can avoid that by just talking more in meetings such like as this.
I completely agree with that. But I just didn't know how to explain it anymore. You know, it's such a great opportunity, but it was always taken with always someone found something wrong about it, and then we focused on that part.
Well, I feel like it was just, there was like this weird push to make it happen really fast or something. And it's just, and it was never like the advice round idea was never really taken into account, where, you go and talk to the experts. Like, I never really heard RJ have any opinion on this, and he's clearly the most important person to be advising on whether or not a project like this makes sense. So, it was just kind of like, well, let's all guess what RJ is going to say. Or at least that's what I was thinking in my mind.
We talked with RJ yesterday. We have the dev meeting, and we talked about it as well. And basically, he had no issues with that. Basically, we just talked about him rewriting the contracts, and that it will take at least 3 more weeks. And he was supposed to be in the call today as well, but he didn't show up.
And he also said in the call yesterday, right, that he that he said that the contracts were not ready yet to open up, if I understood it correctly, as a non-dev.
Well, no, he said that the contracts right now are obsolete, that the one that are published and the one that we're using. We're just rewriting them, or he's rewriting them to better suit our needs. And the new ones should also be the contracts that they use, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Please, God, please let them use.
So it just means that even if they wanted to start right now, we have a problem. But if they will want to start in a month from now, the contracts will probably be ready by then or close to finishing.
And I think also, sorry if I don't want to like take all the discussion, but so I was with Griff and some of the other people by accident. I now was in Thailand because it fitted in my agenda. And of course, it's not possible for everyone to travel around all the time. But what I noticed is that so the discussions that Griff is holding for Scaling Now, this is talking to everyone in the community and looking for solutions to how we can like work on Ethereum or on other side chains and this and that. And I don't understand even a quarter of it, but I think it's super interesting. And then seeing this and seeing this discussion happening, and then how this is happening in a very open way, talking to different teams. And then in our own team, that suddenly it was like, we have to move now to RSK. It was like, then maybe RSK should be part of the Scaling Now discussion. And maybe that Scaling Now thing hasn't been conveyed enough within our own team. And maybe you should talk a little bit about this, Griff. But that will also help like to see that we're all trying to find solutions, and that it's easier if we like share all this information all the time. That's my feeling about it. Griff, any thoughts?
The Scaling Now has the advantage where it's a channel on Riot. This wasn't. So that's the advantage. But even I have to say that for me, it's hard to follow the Scaling Now as well, because not everything is posted in the channel, and there are some stuff outside. But RSK will probably come to Barcelona, or at least someone from RSK will come to Barcelona, because this is very much part of Scaling Now. Right, Griff?
Cool.
Well, I mean, those guys are the best they've built the best bridge that exists right now. So I consider them scaling experts, which is why I invited them. I really hope that they can send out a dev. Some random guy they just hired, I'm not going to actually let into the... I don't think I can justify letting him come. But unless he comes with somebody who is actually developing the stuff so that he has something to bring to the table. But yeah, I mean, that's why I'm really excited to push this idea of bridging from Smart Bitcoins to Rinkeby, because these guys have built a successful bridge, and if they want to build a second one between EVM chains, I'm sure they would do better than almost anyone else in the world. So it would make a lot of sense to have them be working on that kind of project, and everybody wins. Also, they're one of these groups that needs an open source block explorer and everything else that all these side chains need. So there's a lot of aligned interests.
Will you have them on one of your calls, Griff?
What?
Will you have RSK on one of your calls? It's already planned.
It's not planned. I broached that topic in this meeting, but we'll see.
Cool.
I mean, they were very open to that, so I think if we reach out to them, we can schedule such call.
Yeah, I think so. I have to make sure that I have time to do them. That's the scary part, but because I'm only going to do these calls for another 2 weeks, and that's it. Then I'm done. I don't want to do it forever. It's not like I'm dedicating my life to scaling just this month.
Okay.
Scaling will always be a problem.
Will scaling always be a problem?
Until sharding. Yeah, until sharding it will, but I'm just trying to kickstart it. Like, once there's enough momentum, we got other shit to do. So,
But yeah. Is there any other topics we can talk about? Does anyone else have anything that would be fun to chat?
Or any other thoughts about this one or whatever?
I'd love to hear more about how the personal server stuff is going with Edu. Personally.
Well, about the personal server, I think that they have made a lot of work, of the main work. Right now, it's possible to connect to the VPN, deploy an application. You only need to have the hash on IPFS of application, that is a Docker, indeed. For now, seems it's all working. I have a chain that is parity right now because it's more efficient for now. And now I'm starting to develop some minimal application to prove the work. And the problem that I have right now is manage users on the personal server and the version of the Docker of the application that you want to install inside. But I have a lot of progress in that part too, because Jordi recommends me to use Aragon system. So I taking a look at the code. I have an installer, like the installer for the DApp of Gibeth, but this case is to install the DPS on server that is running. I have an ICO to install with fresh installation. I think that I close to have something to show to the people. I have a good progress. And obviously, RG proposed me to take a look at have a email server that is interesting too, and I open to suggestions. So this is all for now.
Wow, that's exciting. Yeah, Jordi was telling me that the server wasn't running at the time, but that you could just type in a few numbers into your browser and actually connect straight to your guys' server.
Yes, the thing here is you have, when you install it, you have a web browser. Well, in your web browser, if you go to your IP server, automatically you can download your own VPN configuration, so you don't need do anything. It's automatically configured for you. When you connect to the VPN, you can access directly to any address on IPFS that have a website. For example, you already have a decentralized website that is called Bailina.eth. And the point here is that if you upload a web page to IPFS, this server can resolve for you with the ANS. So it's cool, very cool, because if you need, for example, use a service of the server, for example, the chain of Parity, you can connect, you can deploy knowing that you have always access to the chain in that address. So you have Ethereum on your server. You have all, and it's easy to deploy. For example, the first application that I made, it was a version of the IPFS consortiums. So I install a Docker, and after that, you start to pin files without anything more than use the hash of the Docker to install it, and it's automatically installed.
I mean, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, I want to record some videos about that, so start to show to the people how it works.
Yeah, we're just about to get into. Oh well, this is a good one for the name or for this fireside chat. Jordi wants a new name for. He doesn't like personal server, and I agree that it's a little bit. Server is a scary word, you know. So, okay. I mean, if we can't find anything better than personal server, then I do like Edu's been calling it DPS lately. But
I'm not good at giving names to projects, but I use this because it's the first thing that came to my mind. But obviously, I think that we can find a better name for the project. So it's open to all to choose a new one name.
Yeah, here I'm gonna paste the names that Jordi put in into our little chat. I think most of them are horrible, but
Griff, how can you describe in like 2 or 3 sentences for a non-technical person what it is, this server that you say?
So basically, this is a service that will allow you to connect to a decentralized web of independent servers as like a secondary internet. And you can use this as a really easy way to access a decentralized, censorship-resistant internet. So you could use this to access IPFS, or like you can self-host your own website on this system. Like you could do Catalonia.revolution.eth and have it go to a censored website. I mean, that's the main use case, right? Like when they were censoring the voting websites, there'd be no way for the internet people to stop you. And so and what's really cool with what Edu is doing is that you can literally just go to a website and then it will configure your browser for you and do everything for you to make this easy. And this is the first step, but once you have that, then you can start doing cool things like running a Bitcoin client and an Ethereum client and having your own personal server that has all these nodes running so you can connect to the decentralized web in unique ways.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, this is important.
Yeah. Swarm City is really excited about working with it. I mean, I think Edu, do you get paid by Swarm City to do this as well, or
no? Only for Jordi.
Only for Jordi.
We speak. Swarm City is different. Is the word that I made for Swarm City is the other half time. This is from Jordi, or I speak that with Jordi.
Nice.
The cool thing of this server is that anyone can configure it without any technical needs. You only need to install.
That's me.
Yes, for example, this is the aim. People that don't have technical knowledge of all, but you can use it. It's easy, and it's the idea. You can install and it's working. You don't need do anything. So I think it's cool, and you have you'll be full decentralized. Is the idea.
Wow, yeah, that's the future. So cool that you're working on this. It's fantastic.
The idea is that you don't depend of GitHub or Docker or Ubuntu or anything. All is in IPFS, so you are fully decentralized and unstoppable.
And how is the speed and so on? Is it like already? Is it also very limited at this moment, or how does that work? Like how is the speed of these things? Will the speed be like competitive in a way of other server systems that exist, or how is that evolving?
No, the difference that this server is indeed is not a server; it's a system, I think, because all the parts of the project are Docker, are like a instance, a little application, and if you install all the system, you can install, for example, in your laptop. It's not a real server. So if you have installed in your laptop, you can use your laptop and your connection, and it's easy.
And what's really interesting is that if you're not accessing the decentralized web, then you just are using your normal internet connection. Nothing changes. You just go routed through your normal IP, blah, blah, blah. But if the browser detects that you're trying to use a .eth domain or a .bit domain or some other thing that you have pre-programmed, then you'll just like you'll kind of skip through the regular internet, go through this personal server network, right, Edu?
Yes. For now, if you write .s address on your browser, is when the magic happens. But if you've used another address, is like a regular internet. For example, you can have access to this server from your mobile phone, because it's a VPN. So in your mobile phone, you can connect your own party or your own decentralized service. But you can start working on the real internet.
Yeah, I really want Clio to write a Nest grant for you guys, and Status would probably throw money at this too. But
I think it's a cool project, and I think that I have made the complicated part, and now since all is working, I need to make some things better or improvements. But the final aim of this project is working, so it's very cool. I am very excited about this project.
Yeah, it's a really cool project, man. Well, is there anything else, or should we call this a good meeting?
I do have one topic, but that would be difficult maybe right now. So
no, let's do it.
Bring it on.
All right. It's depressing, though, a little bit. No. So lately, over the last 1 or 2 months, I had this feeling that Giveth is becoming more and more like corporation. And yeah, exactly what we don't want to be, right? But we're splitting into these departments. We're adding more and more bureaucracy. And I would just like to raise it up if anyone else also noticed it. And what can we do about it? I think it's just that we are not aligned on what we are trying to achieve. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. I don't think we're becoming more of a company. I think less, actually. Or that we're just not moving, that we're just decentralized, and that there is indeed some misalignment and some miscommunication to some extent. So I definitely see what you're talking about. But so I mentioned it last week, so that I will work as soon. Clio has been sick now, but as soon as she's better, what we want to do is do a quick interview with the 4 circle leads and whoever else wants to talk about Giveth in general, and to come up with a sort of definition of everything that Giveth is together. Something that you could call it a manifesto, even if you want to, something that says this is what Giveth stands for. And now we can discuss and fine-tune that text. And I think if we have something like that, I think it's, of course, just a piece of paper, but I think it might help to give everyone a better understanding of what we are doing and why we are doing it. And I really do believe very much, that's why I do what I also do myself, is like in the power of words and in trying to define this. And because it clears out misunderstandings, and then we can all say like, hey, okay, I'm behind this ID. This ID makes sense to me. If it doesn't, we can fine tune it and we get somewhere that we all agree kind of upon. And so I think in this way, I think that's the opposite of corporate. It's very bottom up, and it's also part of that bottom up part is in the text that Griff just sent. And I think we just need to be sure that we work on communication and talk to each other a lot. And that's why I really like fireside chats like this. So I'm gonna shut up now and let other people talk.
Yeah, I'll say that I'm happy you guys are writing that article, because that's what I was going to have my talk on EdCon about. Follow up with the Giveth Galaxy idea and talk about the 4 circles, our different projects and things that the community is throwing up that we're supporting, and yeah, just almost like a Giveth update, really. But
yeah,
I don't know. Does anyone else think we're going corporate?
So I have been thinking a lot about this. We are not going corporate at all. Trying to structured and organized in a way that's supporting the idea of decentralization and everybody is somewhere else, and we're using modern tools to achieve a common goal. And yes, the split in the 4 circles has, I think, inserted some miscommunication, but I have the feeling that it's kind of the depth circle has to come back into the middle of the whole thing again from this from a perspective point of view, maybe, because I think there is much going on between communication and governance, and the depth circle itself is a bit out there, like brewing, the soup. So what I would recommend everybody to do is not only follow those articles that Griff sent around, but maybe read this book or go to reinventingorganizations.org, I think, or .com. And it's about a new kind of organization that's not a corporation, because that's like the last model, and this is like a next model, you could say. And what I want to do, especially with this Loomio, is introduce more these rules. I mean, it's basically what's in this book is very good already. There is much we can build upon, and I think it works best if everybody's aligned, and if you could just read those links would be nice. And somebody else, please, and free choosing.
On that note, if you send me your email, I will send you the audiobook. I'll do a WeTransfer for this reinventing organization.
Nice.
I have to say, I think it's a free book on the website. Audiobook is free, but if you download it from the website, you can pay as you wish. But he gets a click, like somebody read it.
Well, it's not free on the website. Yeah, I looked up the link. It's $22, but
no, it's not. It's pay as you wish.
For the book, for the ebook.
Yeah, for the audiobook it's paying, but I don't care. I don't mind paying for it either. I don't know. It's worth it, I think, because it's very interesting.
I will send the guy so much gratitude, and I sent him in some emails, and I was like, please let me set up. I want to pay you in Ether, and we had a little bit of back and forth. So cool. If he ever starts to accept Ether, he'll be a happy man.
It would be so nice to invite him or talk to him. Would be interesting.
Yeah, we're definitely going to continue that.
Yeah, I'm going to read the audio, listen to the audiobook for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mean more like, we're getting more corporate maybe. What I meant is more like more bureaucracy. Right?
Such as?
Becoming, I don't know. The Loomio helped, that's true. But maybe before the Loomio, there was a lot of things that was like discussed unnecessarily. And that's just, since we're this decentralized organization and we were talking about those circles, I don't know. It looks like a lot of people are asking for permission for things that don't need to ask permission for. Maybe that's a better term. And it's just really inefficient because now you have 20 people that each has opinion.
Yeah, no, but I think that's an interesting point, and I think the Loomio is definitely going to help. And I was actually just before chatting about it with Kai about something, and that I was happy that Griff sent this link, because I come talking for myself. I come out of like plus 10 years in very corporate environments, and I truly believe in like empowering people and bottom up and like just decentralizing all of this. But sometimes when I'm lost and I don't know what to do, I revert back to the logic I know out of corporations, like, okay, we have to get this done. But those things don't work in the new system that we're building. So that's why I think that books and some theory like this help us to like find a new way that works and make our own thing out of it. But yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I think the advice, I think that we might, if anything, are going a little too hardcore sometimes in this. Like, you get to do whatever you want, like, don't have to ask permission thing. I think there is like a happy medium. And I think the advice round idea and asking for experts when you're making a decision that you think might be pivotal or important is something we're not doing well enough. So, and that is pushing this reinventing organizations and yeah, the advice round process. I'm pretty excited about. Kai is hoping to push that too.
The advice process, you sent it today, I think, Griff. You can look it up on the wiki. The advice process is really nice for. You did a stellar job now with scaling now with the advice process, because we have a problem. The problem is scaling, and well, there's many things you can do, but what you did was going out and ask all the experts. And I mean, you probably went even like overboard, and now we have a conference, but it's not overboard. It's nice. And I think it's just a very good example of how the advice process really, really works in a good, like that has a large magnitude. And this is also why probably the thing with the RSK was very differently perceived, because it just came, in as like a strong proposal, and there was no like, nobody knew, oh, how is this going to affect us really? And, very different. Instead of over weeks of building up and finding stuff and just saying, hey, guys, just so you know, I'm working on this. Yeah. But so Wojtek, read the advice process. It would really help you, I think, with your thinking or your.
All right, I've read already one of the things that Griff posted. Got distracted from the second one.
Yeah. And does it make sense? What's in there for you?
Yeah. It's no different to my views. Not that much.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, this is also coming in part from agile, development. It's all kind of in there. It's such a mix. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it's also. Yeah, go ahead.
to raise this up, because I think it's actually a lot of the external people think that as well. As I had chance to talk right now to like people that do testing and stuff like that, they're saying that sure, we're completely open, but it's really hard to actually read what we're doing, and it's really hard to read where we're heading.
You mean with this, for Giveth, what Giveth is doing for external people?
With who Giveth, yeah. I mean, our governance meetings are open and everything, and it's all recorded, right? But who's in their right mind, and I'm sorry, is going to watch governance meetings?
No.
Yeah, never. Dear God, I hope.
What?
I mean, I think this is where we divert strongly from the corporate, classic corporate things, where we're a community of people, and communities don't always have like this clear goal, blah, blah, blah. The circles kind of have more of a clear goal. You guys are building the DApp, governance is exploring with governance.
communication is trying to get people to understand what Giveth is about and pushing the value system and reaching people. Social coding has its own agenda of like building open source tools and entertaining and educating devs. And it's kind of this it's a community effort of blockchain for good. And I don't know that it has to have such a clear path forward about what we're trying to do. Different people are trying to do different things, and that's okay. I think the DApp has a much cleaner, clearer path forward than every other circle.
Maybe as Chris says, a manifesto for each circle could be nice.
Yeah, well, it's the next thing coming up. We discussed it yesterday in the communication circle. So Cleo was busy, is still busy with the scaling now, writing all of that out because that takes quite some time, and she has a full-time job. And she was sick, but it's the next thing that she's going to work on. So it's coming soon, and she is already in Barcelona, and I'll be there as well as of the 1st, and you'll be there too. And I think also apart from like having some words on paper, digital paper, I think it's always also a challenge to just be far away from each other. That is a whole new world, and I think we're all still. For me, definitely, it's a challenge, and I see whenever we see each other that like just because of just physical communication that things get figured out quicker. And that's why I'm happy that we'll meet again in Barcelona as well, and that I met a big part of the group in Thailand too.
All right, guys, I'll have to go, but I'll see you in Barcelona. I might come on 2nd. I'm not so sure right now.
Come early enough, Wojtek. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hey Wojtek, can you stay for the reward DAO meeting, or do you really have to go?
Yeah, we wanted to do that now, actually.
When's the reward DAO meeting?
Yeah, this is RJ would do it, but he's not around, and actually he only dished out 2 points anyway, so or dished out points for the DApp circle twice.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, I can stay, but I actually think that sounds about correct, because we didn't have chance to do testing. We were planning to do that last weekend, but we didn't manage to.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise, we just do it with the 3 of us, Griff. Then.
No,
You can grab Arthur.
I'll stay. I'm curious about that one. Food can wait. I don't have to eat with my family all the time.
Oh no!
Oh, poor you. This is what Giveth does to you. This is our corporate environment. You see, this is what we do to your life, Wojtek.
Exactly.
I'm grabbing Arthur.
And I'm dishing out my final points. Sorry, it's still not reward DAO meeting, because Yaler deserved. I told that the winner was gonna get extra points, so I'll put it on this one as a final one.
Yeah, feel free to put it on both. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Feel free to what, Griff?
Put it on both. He can win. He can get reward points on both months. Or even a bonus. I don't know. We got to start incorporating milestones. We really haven't been using our DApp for milestones.
So do you mean that I shouldn't dish out these points, or?
No, dish them out. Dish them out for
Okay.
sure. And don't be shy to dish them out tomorrow too on the new ones.
Okay.
Did you guys talk lately to Alan? Anyone?
I did, briefly. Why?
Is he still like interested, or is he still doing anything recently?
not forgive it. Joanna is working on the video, and because of that, but I think he's busy with other stuff right now.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured as well.
Yeah. Do you need him for something specifically? Because on Slack he normally answers quite quickly.
Yeah. No. I mean, I would like to continue with redesigning the dApp, but that's a rather big job. So.
I mean, I think he would make space for it, but man, it's really tough. If you want someone who's like actually focused on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, I still need to do stuff on my end for that. So I need to collect some requirements. But I would really like to push it forward because there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense in the dApp. Like, for example, the fact that you can't do any action from the milestone. You don't even see in what state the milestone is.
Yeah, it's really tough.
I had a question, like the things that we still have in there, like some of the UI things that for the moment don't work. Is it not stuff that Satya is working on, or that Satya can do, or is Satya not working on these things? A lot of the open points, bugs that are in like the look and feel and the UX right now.
All right, I'm going to tell you why. So the whole problem is that the whole dApp was developed with an idea of showing something on DEF CON. So the architecture was chosen to just write it very quickly and release it, and maybe then even forget about it and write it again. So we're right now, since everything is very like component based, when you want to add something somewhere, it very often isn't just a matter of adding a few lines of code. You need to put also all the logic and all the states in the new components. So it's very, very slow. So that's why we don't really want to do those small tasks, because they aren't actually that small. And the idea is that as we do a complete redesign, we basically rewrite it so that it makes sense, so that you can easily modularize it even further.
Okay. So it's like there's just some basic, there's some fundamental work that needs to be done first, if I understand correctly, before you can continue on all these other things.
Yeah, it's just that it's not, it was written to finish it fast, but it wasn't written in terms of extendability. So whenever we're trying to add something new, it's a little bit difficult.
And how
more time than it should take.
And what is the fix?
Other part. What?
What is the fix for that? How are we going to solve this in the long term?
So we were discussing that we move from component-based system to more like service-based system with something like Redux or stuff like that. So you store the state and the logic away from the visual parts. So you have just purely visual components, and then you have a logic apart, and then you have also storage apart.
And who's gonna write that part?
So that's we're going to have transition period, which is going to happen once we decide how it should look like visually. And then as we rewrite the visual field, we also rewrite the functional part.
So then it is time.
What?
So then it does sound like it is really time for Alan to jump in if he can.
Or someone else.
Or someone else. Well, okay, we don't need, but we don't need really to know this will be purple and this will be pink. More what we need is milestones will need these actions here and stuff like that, which is something that, yeah, I need to do, or someone else. And then it's up to the graphic designer to arrange it, right?
Okay.
But there's
That's true.
going to be the prototyping part right now.
Cool. So we're on the lookout for a UX.
Yeah, but we do have that. That's the thing. We do have the Melanie. We have Satya, who's also UX.
Okay.
And so
I mean, it's going to be a clickable prototype that people are going to walk through, and we're going to, basically find what's wrong there.
And you're gonna like then work now on the prototyping.
Yeah, eventually will take maybe 2 more weeks.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to find Arthur. I think we can at least talk about. Should we reschedule a meeting?
Well, if 2 of the 4 people are not there, it's maybe not ideal.
Yeah,
we're breaking
I guess
we're
so.
breaking up Vortex family life as well.
Yeah,
That's okay. It's not like anyone talks about anything. They watch TV or read newspapers.
Then this is more exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no food. That's the problem.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, okay. I mean, I think we just gotta try again tomorrow.
Okay. By the way, I didn't know about this meeting, and even though I'm not the one who dishes out the points, I would be interested in maybe sitting through it if that's fine with you.
Of course.
So can you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
Shouldn't we vote on that? Shouldn't we vote on that? He's not a reward now lead. No, it's okay, of course.
So I have a meeting with Almost Say Go tomorrow at 11 p.m., which is 5 p.m. your time. But anytime before or after that, I guess RJ's like sleeping right now probably or something. So
yeah, he was still a bit sick, right? That's probably also the reason.
Yeah, and I mean he just flew back from Barcelona, probably at time with his family and these kinds of things, and sleep.
For me, I'm free. I'm traveling. I have like actually also family time with kids and stuff all weekend long. But I'm available. It's just difficult between 12 and 2 CET because I won't have a good connection because I'm on a train.
You're unavailable between 12 and 2.
Not while I'm available, but I cannot guarantee that I have a good connection between 12 and 2 CET.
Well, it either has to be in your early morning for RJ, so he can do it at night, or it needs to be in your late afternoon.
I prefer afternoon in any case, if that's possible for you, Griff. It doesn't have to be late, but as of 2 p.m. is fine with me. Approximately. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can do 6 o'clock CET tomorrow.
All good with me.
Can you make that happen, Wojtek?
Sorry, what time? I'm pretty sure I
6
can.
6 o'clock Barcelona time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Griff, if you want earlier, it's possible as well because it's already midnight for you guys.
Yeah, I have a meeting at 11, so.
Okay. 6 is okay. Then we put 6.
Okay, cool.
Tell them they charged me for my AdCon ticket, but didn't issue my AdCon ticket.
Oh. That's not good.
The site crashed as I was paying.
No.
Went through. So I already wrote in the support like twice and nothing happened yet.
The bastards.
Well, I'm gonna invite you to our Reward DAO Leads channel, Wojtek, even though you're not technically there, but that way you can make sure to be in any of the meetings.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna put it in our official calendar that we have a meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. CT. Voila.
And,
I actually, by the way, I was thinking because we switched to this Google Calendar, but it's still not like ideal because it's not easy to share. So I was just wondering what I can do when we for something like this, for people who use regular calendars. I know that's at least Wojtek and me. I can send you like a meeting request by just adding your mail address. This may be helpful for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, we should collect the emails. Who hasn't given email, right?
Yeah, I think most of us have one, right? So, and then it's easy to just like then you have it in your personal calendar as well.
Jelly's like address lists, but we don't have any email address lists. I was looking at that earlier.
No, we don't, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
But we have the. We do have them. The mail addresses, almost all of us, I think.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. I'm going to go to sleep.
Good.
Okay. Good night, Griff.
Good night, Wojtek. Great job today, man. Thanks for making the RSK thing happen.
No worries.
And
all right.
Thanks for the nice fireside chat, all of you.
Yeah, nice stream work.
Nice. The guy was here the whole time. Sneaky bastard. Good night, guys.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.